Today we're heading out to Auburn, Alabama, where their mascot's a tiger but the Yale War Eagle. I know, doesn't make any sense. All right, today we're going to look at Auburn. Last year he was Kentucky. This top half here is going to be kind of what he, kind of a offense at a glance of what he kind of ran last year. The bottom is his kind of key players as far as his offensive, what he's doing on offense. Uh, about 6,500 yards of total offense over here. 3,400 yards passing, 1,800 yards rushing. He stayed pretty even here. This is his attempts. Stayed pretty even here as far as what he did. It's not too far off. 368 passing attempts, 340 rushing attempts. What gets me is his rushing yard or his yards per game. So he's averaging almost 300 yards per game, but less than 100 rushing yards per game. But scoring more touchdowns rushing than he is passing, which might mean that he's throwing the ball until he's getting down close to the goal line, and then he's trying to rush it in there. So that's why he wouldn't be getting very many yards, but still scoring touchdowns. I could be wrong, but that's my money would be on that. That's what he's doing. Now looking at his players, his quarterback's a 91 overall. Now this is going to be the people that are current, the Auburn players. 91 overall. He's got 78 speed. He had 90-plus rushing attempts last year with his quarterback at Kentucky. So get ready to defend the read option, looks like. His running backs. He's got a really good running back. This guy here's an 87. His backup's a 73. I think he's a freshman. They both got really great speed, but not so much in the break tackles and trucking. They're straight-up speed guys. His receivers, he's got a great receiving core. I mean, 91, 87, 87, 86. All those dudes look pretty good. They all got great speed. Two of them in the high 90s. But they don't have any release. I mean, going down the list, 72, 72, 79, 62 as far as their release. So if you got some elite corners, you might be able to lock them up at the line. His tight end, and write that down. His tight end's an 86. He's got pretty good speed for a tight end. 81 speed for a tight end's pretty good. His release is 82, but unless your tight end is split out, that's not going to make a difference because nobody's going to block him up at the line. I mean, your linebacker's not going to be standing right in front of him. So his offensive line, now this is his current offensive line, looks pretty good across the board. We got a 78 in the middle, but there's two guys side by side here, the guards that are in the 90s. Like I said, there's stats last year I could look at, the ones that are doing anything as far as where the sacks are coming from or where he got sacked from. But it's a whole different set of players, so it's not going to matter all that much. Quick once over, see if I missed anything. All right, taking a peek at Auburn's defense here. Got him mapped out again. He's got about 4,000 yards total that he gave up. 2,600 come out of the passing and 1,300 yards on the ground. I think last year at Kentucky he played one. I think he played one user. And that one user was Chef. So expect these to be a little bit different this year. We're playing a lot of users, so it just depends. I've seen a lot of different games. Some of them been like crazy high scoring, like when Chef played Seabolt. And I've seen some that have been, pretty low scoring defensive battles. So, but these are going to skew a little bit, I imagine. He only picked the ball off 12 times. That's extremely low. Not picking on his defense or anything, but 12 picks ain't very much. I think we're on week 10 maybe. The advance is going to be, you'll be hearing a little bit. It's about 8:30 at night right now, but I think I got like 20 picks on the year. I think Chef and some other people got, up in the 20s as far as picks go. Taking a look at we'll just start with his D line. And this is his current stats at Auburn, current people at Auburn, not stats are for Kentucky. He played at Kentucky last year. The defense is for players he has at Auburn. He's got a pretty stout defensive line. This guy here is a little lacking, but I think he's a freshman, so he's going to get a little better. But most of his sacks, these 24 sacks, mostly come from his defensive line last year. So that means he's dropping some people into coverage, and getting some sacks probably with his D line, which is crazy because he's only getting 12 picks, but dropping, most people run spread offenses and only picking off the ball 12. But anyhow, he's got a great linebacking core too. But as far as man coverage, if you're somebody that, has offense like LSU's or an Arkansas offense that runs some double tight and that sort of stuff. So if you got a couple of really good tight ends, you might line them up in a running formation and throw it on these guys because they're not gonna be able to cover elite tight ends. And I say that over and over and over again because I've yet to find a middle linebacker that can cover anybody, and that includes mine. I got, I think, one of the best in there, but that's me. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. All right, we're gonna go to the his secondary now. He's got a great secondary. Here's the man coverage: 85, 90, 90, 76. Unless you run a 4 wide all the time, this guy ain't gonna be on the field anyway. Now they got great press too. He's got a great secondary. His strong safety up here. Great zone coverage, not so much on the man. Now his free safety is probably going to be the weakest person on the field. This free safety, 72 man coverage, 75 zone. That's not all that wayno. I hope this turns out okay because the computer's lagging a little bit. We'll see. No, it's doing all right, I guess. So if he does bring a blitz, and you can look and see if he brings his blitz, and that means one of these guys is going to be covering your tight ends or your running backs. Let me see a little check if I missed anything. Oh, his defensive line this year, they're pretty solid, but they have low stamina. There's not a single one that's got a stamina in the 80s. Let me see. One of his defensive tackles has stamina that's a 79. So that's only going to get better, and he's going to be pretty good when he becomes a senior. With the other 90, he's a senior. He's leaving, then a freshman, and a junior. But you want to hurry up. You can get these guys tired and get some backups in there. All right, we're going to come back with some summing up. All right, to sum up the Auburn Tigers. Offense. His weakest secondary is his fourth corner and his free safety as far as throwing the ball. So you might get him in some situations where you might be able to throw to one of your slot receivers. Or, if he's running some zone or something like that, or blitzing, his free safety is going to be covering, one of the receivers. So you can look for that. Stay balanced. Run the ball, pass the ball, stay balanced on him, and always limit turnovers. Turnovers kill, especially in user games. I don't have too much for his offense. He's got a solid defense. And when I played him this year, I didn't get much of a read on what he likes to do. On defense, you're ready to play defense for 4 downs, no matter where he's got the ball. Last year, he went for it on 4th down 24 times. That probably led the country by a lot. You might be able to press his receivers. He likes to pass, but looks like he'll run a little bit in the red zone, like we've seen in the offense. The attempts looked balanced, but his yards per game, not so much. Get ready to defend the read option. Like I said, when I played him, basically for a sneak peek, what got him in trouble when we played is that he went for 4th down all the time, the whole game. When you don't get that and I get the ball on my, 25-yard line, I ain't got far to go, or anybody for that matter. So get ready to play deep for 4 downs. So hope that helps. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck when you play Auburn.